Welcome to Vertical Football, and this is the Blue Box. Yeah, this is a show where we talk all things Chelsea. Yeah, and today we want to do an analysis on a player that has been linked to Chelsea. Yeah, in the person of Murillo of Nottingham Forest. Yeah, Chelsea has been finding a way to get centre back to the club, and we have tried every possible options to like bring guys in, but I think we have been a little bit, I would say, slow, or we have been losing to our opponents in the story of Jeremy Jacque. We losing him to Liverpool, that we even had to like go and bring Mamadou Sarr so that he can fit in that situation. But now we have been linked to Murillo, a player with a Premier League proven experience with some, and is also somebody who has one of those features that we have been missing in our backline in the club, and those are the things that we are going to analyze. So we are going to look at this player's strengths, we are going to look at his weakness, and we are going to look at how they fit in into what Chelsea is doing at the moment. So guys, thank you for sticking with us. Like, you know, this is brought to you by Vertical Football. So let's jump into it and let's discuss about Murillo to Chelsea. Yeah, so first thing we want to look at the profile of this guy is, as much as he looks like a very big guy, one thing that surprises me the most is he's just 23 years of age. I'm always very, very surprised when I still go back to go and check this guy's data and like, how can this guy be as big as this and has this matured face? And he's just 23 years of age, and he plays in the left centre back position. He's 5'11", one of those things that I feel like I'm worried about. Yeah, he's 5'11" for a defender. Yeah, it's something that we'll still discuss, and is cost around 50 to 70 million pounds. For me, speaking about the money, I think Nottingham Forest are overpricing him. He's a good defender. This has nothing to do with this guy, but in the sense that they bought him for 12 million. In all honesty, he has been fantastic for them. He has been playing really well for their club, but I think 50 to 70 million is way above it. Is way too much. Comparing it to other guys that we have got in the Premier League, you're looking at somebody like João Pedro from Brighton, looking at the influence that he has had in the club, 50 million, 60 million. I think that's fair. Going to even like somebody like Umbuemo, 50 million, 60 million, looking at the impact that they have in their club before they came into a new club, 60 million, 65. Goodbye, Semenyo, Maguire. Now you are getting these guys for this amount, and then we're going to Murillo and we're saying 50 million to 70 million. I think it should be around the 35 to 40 million. Yeah, or max 45 million. Yeah, and that's me even still overpricing it or just making him stay in that part for the fact that he has been in the league for a period of time and he has been consistent. And what he brings to Nottingham Forest, I think is goodbye for them. But I think it's something that we don't need to rush into this transfer. Speaking from the money perspective, let's try and make sure we come into an agreement, show that we are interested and we actually want this guy, because I think their competition, I think they said Liverpool is looking into this guy. Do not be baited into it, but try and show that you want this guy. Let him pick his choice where he wants to go, then try to like beat the price down, because Nottingham Forest are in a position where they are likely looking like relegation is a possibility, and if that becomes the case for them, if the player will definitely want out because other guys are coming in for him. So we should just be patient in the transfer. Speaking about the money, now let's go into the abilities of this guy, and we are going to look at it from his strength and we're going to look at it in his weakness. I think the first thing that comes to mind when we hear the name Murillo of Nottingham Forest is his ball progression. Yeah, and his ball progression is something that I love so much, because you look at it in dynamics with in comparison to other guys. When we talk about ball progression in defenders, one thing is spread in two parts. The first part is they are either a ball playing defenders in the sense that they can progress the ball by just making one pass, either line breaking pass or long pass or diagonal pass, anyhow you want to call it, but they know how to progress the ball. And that's one part. The other part is you look at another set of defenders who can carry the ball. Yeah, like they can move the ball from their own box comfortably and just keep on moving with it, and they progress it into the other half of the play or into the final third or wherever they want to progress the ball into. So those are the two aspects of ball progression. But with Murillo, one thing that I'm always very impressed whenever I watch this guy in Nottingham Forest is he's good on the two parts. He's very good on the two parts. In his ball playing ability, he's one of the best in the league. Like passing, taking the ball, making diagonal pass, making line breaking pass, spotting a runner, and then having the skill set to like execute that pass perfectly. I think he is one of the best in this. And also in ball progression, I don't think I have seen a better player in the Premier League. Let me say this season. I'm trying to like look at the Premier League or somebody that comes close, and I want to use Guardiola. Yeah, Guardiola is that guy who he carries the ball and is taking it up to you and is dribbling you there, left, right, and is progressing the ball up front. So I want to like put it to like, oh, maybe Guardiola is a little bit better in that part. But you're talking about people who play in the center back position. I think Murillo is one of the best when it comes to carrying the ball and dribbling through players with the ball. We have it in Fofana, but Fofana is just more of carrying the ball and run to just keep on going. But with Murillo, he takes the ball, face a player 1v1 and dribbles them and still keep on going with the ball. We have seen it times without number against Tottenham, against Everton, against maybe Brighton, where he's charging up and taking the ball up. Crystal Palace, yeah, up ahead, going to the final third from his own half. So I think with his ball progression, I think he's superb. That's a strength for him. And another thing again is the aggressive defending. I think he's a no nonsense kind of defender. He's that guy who you know is going to jump into tackles 100%. And I think that those are one of the abilities that I appreciate so much with defenders. I like defenders who want to go into a tackle 100%. I'm not necessarily a fan of a defender who tries to like, oh, he's waiting. It's like he's going 70-30 or 80-20. I don't like it. Like, go into a tackle when you want to go into a tackle. Like, go. Stop holding back. You are a defender. Like, it's literal. Like, you cannot miss it. Go into it. You are a defender. You are supposed to defend. Yeah, so I like that part of his game, and you speak about his aggressive defending in the sense that he jumps to put his body to make a block. He tries to like anticipate things and he just jump into interception. Like, he's very aggressive when it comes to defending, and that's one thing that we want in the club. I feel like we have that. Yeah, Chalobah gives us that, but sometimes it can be a little bit relaxed and not wanting to go into that tackle. Tosin does not give us that, but their shield does not give us that. The person that gives us that, or the two people that give us that in the defensive line, is Kowiu and Fofana, and unfortunately Kowiu is not available. So I think looking at the way this guy wants to fit into our club, I think that aggressive defending is the attribute or is an ability that we want into a defender, that we want to bring into a club. Yeah. And let's talk about thirdly is physicality. Though we can't say is he a strength or a weakness. I think physicality is just a general thing in football, and I think I like his physicality. He's a huge guy, but one thing, his height is something that I'm a little bit worried about. 5'11" for a defender. I think we are getting to a point in the Chelsea Football Club where we are prioritizing technicality and we are not necessarily looking at the height of players anymore. I think if we are looking at average height in the Premier League, I think Chelsea should be among the club with the shortest average height in the club, because we don't have tall players anymore. We don't. Our players are just of the normal average height, and I don't think that's good. That's not necessarily a problem when the squad has it, but defenders, you want to have tall players. But speaking about his physicality, in his body shape and how built he is, I think is a plus. And he's not that tall, so his low center of gravity is something that we want to like take advantage of. That means he's that guy that you cannot just shift off the ball. Is going to have a very grip and a very steady firm on the ground because he's not that tall. His low center of gravity will give him a balance so much. And also, lastly, is something I want to speak about. I think he's injury free. Yeah, he's a guy who, since I checked, I went through his record injury wise. I think he's the highest he has gone out not playing for Nottingham Forest since he came into the Premier League has been 17 days. Let's approximate that's into 3 weeks. So in a defender, you want availability. Availability is something that you just want in your players. Like sometimes they might not be the best, they might not give you 100%, but just being available means you can get something like 60-70% from them. So it's better you have somebody who can give you 60-70% or let's say 80% on a consistent basis than somebody that will give you 100% but is only available once or twice in a month. You want to pick this over this. So I think availability is a thing for this guy, and I appreciate that on his part. Yeah. So now let's look at his weaknesses. I think the major weakness, and one thing that I would just to summarize the whole thing before we start talking about those weaknesses, is one thing that I see according to my analysis is Murillo's strengths are his weaknesses. Yeah, majority of his strengths are also his weakness, and I will explain that, and you will even see that by yourself as we go into the weakness. Is one of his weakness, and his major one is aerial ability. Is not good in the air. He has lost, according to stats, 50% of his area duels, and that's like a worry for you wanting to bring this guy into the football club. Like, you need a player who is good in the air, most especially looking at Chelsea's problem this season. Like, we have considered 11 goals from set piece, and I think we have one of the highest XG considered when it comes to set piece this season. That should be around 13 points, 13 point something, 13 thereabouts. So clubs are targeting us with dead ball situation, and we are vulnerable in that part. So it will make no sense to have somebody who is not good in the air as a stable defender for the club. So I think I'm a little bit worried about that part. Yeah. And the second part is his aggressive defending. And we spoke about it as as a strength for him, but now I'm telling you, it is also a weakness for him, because in the sense that this guy, because he's very aggressive in his defending, sometimes he might lose his head, or sometimes maybe depending on the intensity of the match, he might get mentally fatigued and he just goes into rash tackles, like jump into defending in situation where what you need is more calm, more patience. Just bait the defender into doing something and go for it. But because he is aggressive in his defending, sometimes it can be very, very irrational. Like, he can just jump into something and you're like, no, you don't necessarily need to do that. Like, why are you doing why did you do what you have just done? So I think his aggressive defending is a strength, but at the same time also has its weaknesses. And also he gambles, yeah. Murillo gambles a lot, yeah, and I will speak about that in like two different parts. Firstly, with the ball, in the sense that we spoke about his ball playing ability as a strength for him. So because he plays the ball very well, he has the skill set to place the ball. He's always naturally inclined to want to find those runners and always keep on playing that pass. And you know what that is? It leads to turnover. Like, you look at guys who play passes a lot, go and check their rate of turnover. Their rate of turnover is always very high. Now you look at it in the person of like Bruno Fernandes. He's one of those guys who, whenever now he's becoming very calm, or those times, or depending on the system that he's playing under, whenever he gets the ball, his first orientation is to look for somebody that is moving, even if it is 1v2 up there. He's just sending that pass because he trusts so much in his ability. But the situation out there will determine what the outcome will be like. So this guy also have the same tendency. When he gets the ball, he puts his head up, he's spotting a runner, boom. So he gambles a lot. And also the other part of this gamble is because he's good on the ball, when he gets the ball in the back line, sometimes he wants to dribble, which is good. Like, okay, when he gets this ball and is dribbling, oh, that's great. He has gone past player. This guy is so fantastic. But you're thinking about when this thing goes against him. So because you are looking at Chelsea, who, because we want to push other guys into their own box, we are going to be majorly in a mid-block eye-line kind of a situation. So imagine you're having your last line of defense wanting to dribble with the ball. and it gets taken away from him, you are like straight to the post because he's going to be in the center back position. So this kind of things are things that I feel like he can improve on. Like he needs to know when is the right time to drop the ball. He needs to know when is the right time to dribble. He needs to know when is the right time to find a balance between the two things. Yeah, so that's one part of that's another part of him not sorry about that. That's another part of his weakness is what's it called? Is gambling. And now let's talk about the last thing I would say is positional discipline. His positional discipline. I've seen him. I've watched this match. I've watched Nottingham Forest even before this previous season, and those times under Nuno Espirito where they were having a fantastic run of form. Oh, sorry. What's this guy who brought them from relegation? I've forgotten his name. Steve Cooper. Yeah, where they were having fantastic run of form in pairing with Milankovic. Those I've seen his positional discipline in the sense that Murillo is ball focused. Yeah, Murillo is ball focused. So the defects of that, or the side effects of that, or the negative effect of that is that when you are ball focused, you tend to like lose the awareness of what is going on in your environment. So the opponent is playing the ball from this side to this side. Because you are ball focused, you are like watching at the movement of the ball. You can't necessarily see your blind spots, or you won't even see your blind spot. So you are focused on the ball and you're watching what the baller is doing. And maybe let me even use a good example. In the match against Aston Villa, they lost the ball. They were in attack. Hutchinson was trying to pass the ball to the right hand side, and somebody, I think it was Tillemans intercepted the ball, and they came into the center of the pitch. Murillo was watching what Tillemans was doing. He was also with Rogers, and Rogers was running back like he wanted to come and collect the ball. As a center back, what I was expecting is you need to like examine your environment, then know if this guy running back is either a bait or he truly wants to collect the ball. Unfortunately, Rogers running towards Tillemans was more of a bait than him wanting to get the ball. So Murillo fell for it because he was watching what the baller wants to do, and he was watching who the receiver is also doing. So he just kept on running after Rogers, and he just opened that big space behind, like in the line. And McGinn just ran into that space, got the ball, though it shouldn't have led into a goal if the goalkeeper did not come into that situation. Because I was like, the distance where the ball is and where the goal is was too far. It didn't need to be there. I mean, the goalkeeper. But because this Murillo did not anticipate all of these things, because he was ball watching, like he just opened that space. McGinn ran into that space and just puts the ball at the back of the net from that place. So, and we have seen it times. I've seen it like in occasions here and there. I feel like it's something that he needs to improve on, in the sense that as much as you want to watch the ball, you need to be able to scan through your environment. And so he has the anticipation game, like, but his anticipation game is always focused on where the ball is. He's not looking at what the other guy is doing. So that guy wants to make a pass. His anticipation game is like, okay, let me bait him, make that pass. Then I will jump in front of the player and intercept the ball. But sometimes this guy who you are looking at just wants to bait you into coming. This is the guy who actually has the ball. So if you are not aware of your environment, you can't really have so much option to think from, like, what if it's not this guy? What if it's this guy? So I think that is something that he should like improve on. So guys, these are just my analysis of this guy, and now it's just all about coming to a conclusion whether we should get this guy. I think his strengths are his weaknesses. So if he comes into an environment where you can, like, okay, just build more on these things and try to, like, let's work on these things, because the area ability, given that it's short, I think it's not something they can work on anymore, and we are going to definitely suffer for that. Is over aggression or is aggressive defending and gambling. I believe those are things that he can work on. Yeah, you can definitely work on knowing the right time to drop the ball, knowing the right time to jump into a tackle, knowing the right time to be aggressive, and knowing the right time to just hold up the player to call for recruitment or to call for backups. Yeah, I think those are things that he can improve on. And also his awareness. Probably we will not be leaving him as the last man anymore. He's going to be that guy who just goes around, wander, and allow somebody else play that sweeper role. So definitely, given that if he's not going to get so much better in the what's it called, in the positional discipline, he's definitely always going to play with a sweeper defender. Yeah, so guys, I for me, I I would say I want this guy in the club. One, he's young. Two, he has the skill set that we need in the club: passing ability, aggressive defending, ball carrying. Like with that ball carrying, he can win territory for us. Only Fofana does that for us. That, like, he's injury free, he's young, and I think those things do it for me. And looking at his what's it called, his weaknesses, those are things that he can improve on. Those are things that when it comes into the club, we start curbing some things and making him heighten his awareness towards other things. So I believe I want him. I would say I want him at the club. Premier League experience is also a thing, but I think we should be able to negotiate that fee of 50 to 70 million into something that is going to be good for both parties. So guys, this is my analysis of this guy. What do you think? Please put it in the comment section. Let's see your thoughts. Is this a guy that you want to see in the club, or is just another one that we should pass on? Please put it in the comment section. Let's discuss about it. Till we see you some other time. Namaste.